How do you lower cortisol levels without medication? So, the simple answer, in my opinion, is that you slow down. Okay, but in all seriousness, one of the most common reasons why people have high cortisol levels is because of sleep deprivation. That is the number one reason why people have high cortisol. So if you're able to get the recommended amount of sleep, actually recommended doesn't matter, the amount of sleep that you need. So for most women, it's 8, 9, sometimes 10 hours of sleep if they're on their period. That is what you need to feel well rested. The other thing that people don't talk about that makes your cortisol levels high is trauma. And obviously, that's like a whole loaded point, right? Because you can have childhood trauma, you can have generational trauma, you can have like current trauma, like relationships, work, all of that. And so if you're currently in a state that is causing trauma, that is going to put you in like a fight or flight situation. And sometimes even when you get out of it, you get PTSD and you're still reliving those traumatic moments, and it's keeping your cortisol and your epinephrine levels high. Those are your stress hormones. And those hormones, when they're high, they are not compatible with weight loss. So yes, if you're going through all different types of trauma that you haven't addressed, then it's going to impede your weight loss, which is something that is just crazy, but that's the reality of it. So I think making sure that you're sleeping enough and that you deal with trauma, those two things will greatly improve your cortisol and bring it down. Now, there are other practices that you can do. So I go on walks because for me, that's the only exercise that doesn't cause any stress in my body. So walking is good, and you can do like walking meditation. So you can listen to meditative music while you're walking. You can try to meditate, right? I can't meditate. I haven't figured that out yet, but some people do well with that. Journaling is also another way to help bring your cortisol levels down because, again, you're able to like write all the things that's bothering you in your head and you're kind of like releasing that trauma. I think that we should be taking naps, but again, there's no medical evidence for this. But I sincerely believe that the way our society is built, at least the American society, is not sustainable. And like the way we work, especially for a woman's body, it just doesn't make sense. So I grew up in Cameroon, which is a West African country. And when I was in boarding school, we took naps. And I thought they were like the best thing ever. So I'm like, yeah, naps are good, especially as a woman. But I digress. Anyway, I hope that was helpful and I gave you some suggestion on how to bring your cortisol levels down without medication.